viewers. I hope everyone had a wonderful Labor Day. I guess it's been a long time since I vlogged. I am alive, I promise. Nursing school hasn't killed me yet. Let's see. I promised I would make a supply and equipment vlog, and I also need to update you on my second week. So I'm sort of going to combine those into one vlog because that's all I'm going to have time for a little bit. I have 2 tests this week, one tomorrow and one Thursday. So I've been preparing for those, and I think I'm pretty much prepared for anatomy and physiology. I went to a guided study session this morning, and it wasn't really anything new or fantastic, so I take that as a good sign that I'm prepared for the test. If the study session didn't help, didn't confuse me more, I just knew it, and it was just kind of a review. So that's really good. My microbiology test is Thursday, right after my first day of clinicals, so that should be extra interesting. And I'll let you guys know how clinicals, how that goes. The way it's going to be set up is I have a pre-conference starting at 6:45 in the hospital, and once the pre-conference is over, I will actually go meet my patient, and then I will be doing whatever I'm assigned to do for that morning until post-conference, which I think is actually a little bit early this week. I think it's normally going to be about 1, but I think this week it might be at 12 or 12:30. So we won't be working the whole time with our patients today since it's just our first day and no one really knows what they're doing. But that should be really cool. I'm pretty excited about it. I'm a little bit nervous because we have some paperwork we have to fill out to go along with what we're going to be, I guess, doing for our patient. And I'm just a little bit worried that I'm not going to fill it out right or forget something. And if we don't do everything right, we get an unsatisfactory. Well, there's behaviors that we have to meet, and we either meet the behavior or we don't. And depending on what we do or how many behaviors we don't meet, we get an unsatisfactory. Hopefully I will not be getting any not met or unsatisfactories. That's my goal for the whole semester. And we'll see how that goes. But I think it'll be exciting. It'll be a little nerve-wracking trying to get everything done. But I'll be excited to meet a patient and get to do nursey things. We'll start out obviously with just our CNA skills, but we'll learn more things as we go through the semester. So I'll let you guys know how that goes. Other than that, this week is pretty much just, well, last week I guess, and today, since today's my first day back from Labor Day. But the past week has mostly just been a lot of reading for nursing class, which is very important, by the way, because I'm finally starting to sound smart in that class. I feel like everything else I've said in the class beforehand, I just sounded like a moron. But as I'm getting farther into the book, I'm picking it up, I'm understanding, and when I answer questions, I'm actually getting things right, which is exciting because it's pretty embarrassing when you get things wrong in class, and everyone's getting stuff wrong, so you don't feel so bad, but it's nice to get things right and have the teacher say, "Good job, you remembered that." So, yay! Read to be successful. I'm going to show you guys my equipment-y stuff and my supplies. The first one should be familiar to everyone who has seen the series that It's Cecile does, where she has shown her supplies and helpful study things. So this is the wall calendar that she mentions in her vlog. I took that idea from her vlog and got my own. And I've been writing everything down on it. I have things color-coded. Pink means I've already done it. Blue is for the GSS meetings or guided study sessions that I have. And green are my exams. So you can see where all my exams are. I don't have all my guided study sessions on here because a lot of times they will only either be a week in advance, like announced a week in advance, or I don't know if I'll actually be able to go to them, so I don't want to have it on my calendar and then feel bad for not going. So I tend to schedule them pretty close to the time I actually go. So that's my wall calendar. I would definitely recommend getting one of those. I keep it in the bedroom, hang it up on the wall, so every morning when I get up, I know what I have to do for the day, and every night when I go to sleep, I check off all the things that I completed that evening. And that kind of gives me a sense of accomplishment. Planner. It's important because I actually take this to school. When I hear an assignment, I write it down in my planner, and then I put it on my wall calendar. So this pretty much is just a little in-between step for keeping my calendar up to date. But it is really nice. I don't write in it constantly because I just don't care for planners, but it has been really good. Let's see. I used it the most my first week of school. Let's see if we can find... Yeah, this is my first week of school. The colors didn't have any meaning. It was just whatever highlighter I had in my hand at the time. And it has this nice little ribbon, and I can put it on whatever week it is or whatever week I need to remember. And it's a weekly and a monthly calendar, or planner rather. So I've got September here. I can write everything, all my important dates down for the month, and then I can actually write things down day by day during the week. So that's been really handy. Another thing that is kind of little but has made a big difference to me is a mug. Because I'm actually not a big coffee drinker, but I am a big water drinker, and this keeps my water cold, and I can put a lot of water in it, and I can just fill it up between classes in the water fountain. It has a little snap top, so it doesn't spill very easily, and it has a nice handle, so when I'm carrying all of my big books, I can just sort of loop it over my hand. So that's really nice, and it keeps things hot and cold, so if I wanted coffee, it'd keep it hot. Let's see, I've got a lot of junk over here that I wanted to show you guys. Writing utensils are important. Highlighters, I would get some. Obviously, I put them on my calendar and use them in my planner. I also use them when I'm taking notes in class. I'll write out my notes as the teacher talks, and if they emphasize anything, in particular, I will highlight it and put little notes by it and smiley faces and stars. Also, I use a pencil for class for my lecture notes and for worksheets, like my med math worksheets. And black pen is kind of a must for clinicals. Some instructors, I think, and some hospitals require that you get a multicolor pen, one with different buttons for each color, like a red and a green and a black and a blue. Our hospital requires just black ink. And if you're getting just black ink, I would recommend getting several, getting them cheap, and making sure you like writing with them, because you're probably going to lose some, someone's going to borrow it and not return it. There's just some that you just won't see again, or you'll get something really nasty and you might want to throw it away. And then, let's see. Oh, and I did want to mention about the med math worksheets. I finished that, my first med math review sheet, so I'm really excited about that. Our med math test is in October, and I'm a little bit nervous about it because I have to make 100 to continue in the program. If we get 3 tries to make 100, and if I get below 100 on the 3rd try, then I either have to retake the course or try my luck at a different nursing school. So it's a little bit of pressure, but I understand why they do it. A lot of schools require just an 80 or an 85, and I think that's great. Obviously that would be a lot nicer, but their reasoning behind it at my school, I understand. If you're just getting an 80 on the med math, that means you're 80% proficient. And if you're 80% proficient, you may only give 80% of your patients the right medication or the right dosage. And then there's 20% that aren't getting the right dosage, and what's happening to those people is kind of, what our school is asking. So 100%, little tiny things can trip you up, can fail you. It's things like putting the 0 before a decimal mark or something, like 0.2. If you don't have that 0 there, it's wrong. And if you say 2.0, it's wrong, because you always lead with a 0, but you never follow with a 0. Because that could look like 20, even though it has the decimal point. If someone doesn't see it, it looks like 20. And if you have 0.2, it could look like 2. So you have to put the 0 in front to make sure everyone knows that it's 0.2. So that's a little bit scary, but we'll see how it goes. I'll keep you guys updated as much as I can. Obviously, I'm not doing really great with getting these things in on time, but yeah, we'll try to keep things updated as much as possible.